Sir, I just want Brigadier Dhillon now to share with us what he is feeling. He on Muleback, he had gone up to Jack 1, Jack 2, which is in the Chipchap Valley, across Depsanla. And today China will officially come up to 59 claim line beyond Rakinala up to Butse. How are you feeling, sir? Brigadier Dhillon, sir.
Let's put it like this. You see, leave aside the two things. It all boils down to two things. One.
Come a little closer, sir. A little closer.
Okay. Remember one. The girl that flies highest sees farthest. Remember? Okay. Livingston Seagull. Richard Bach.
Sure.
Number two. Every commander wants to know what is happening on the other side of the hill. There are two basic things which you have to understand. Now, in that, if you examine it in that light, you realize that what General is talking about of that area, it is somewhat in line with what we were doing on the Kailash Heights, right? And what the Chinese are trying to do on the Jampheri ridgeline at the Tri-Junction point. What happens that is, from Kailash height, we are now able to look totally into their side.
So Jampheri Ridge, just to put the record straight, is in Sikkim, Bhutan border, Jampheri Ridge.
Yeah, that is a Tri-Junction, right?
Brigadier Dhillon has been there, if I am not wrong.
I'm not there, but I'm going by basic military knowledge of how it's military man, right? And so, therefore, it is imperative that what the general has done doesn't go waste. It's a tremendous effort. Constructing the whole extensive breast wall, right? Keeping the whole thing, you're being able to see into their side, they're not being able to observe what you're up to, right? Now that, if that is going to be sort of bartered away for what I would say is hardly any gain, because in the Ladakh side, none of the things which are in play, none of the patrolling points are tactically grounds of tactical importance or such that which will give you great visibility into the enemy side. Whereas this side is very, very crucial. That I think should be the key to the whole issue.
Listen, emotionally as a soldier, how do you feel?
No. Here, you see, you can't let emotions get into it. You have to be very, very clear. It is your 2 feet on the ground and your 2 Mark 1 eyeballs seeing the thing up ahead and whatever you got as a weapon with you.
Okay, sir. Let's come to the logic part without emotions. If China officially comes up to 59 claim line officially, if they're allowed to come, then what is the sanctity of the new DSDBO road? Then they are within small arms range.
No, just a minute. I'll put it in. DSDBO road is not that much of a problem with our laterals coming up behind that and all. Actually, it is not that much of an issue. Number 2, so what if they are able to observe, right? Fine, they can observe. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it gets cut off straight away. Unless you get pinpoint strikes onto certain choke points or bottlenecks or bridges or something like that, right? It will carry on. We have got adequate things coming up behind. I think we should have gone through by now, right? Through the Nubrav site, right? That's not a great issue. The main issue, the other thing is, they are de facto on the 1959 claim line, whether we like it or we don't like it. It may not be a bad idea if the PM has been able to pull off a master stroke. I call it a master stroke. If we can quieten the whole thing down, the de facto line becomes the de jure boundary. It actually, he would have done something great. Right? Only problem where they are walking on eggshells is he doesn't want to be labeled in the same field as Jawaharlal Nehru. That's the problem. Now, the next thing which comes into play is, as far as the troops in the location are concerned, we definitely have an edge over them.
Sorry, come again.
As far as troops on ground, troops and equipment on ground in the sector of Dipsang and DBO is concerned, we have got an edge on them. A biggish edge, not a small edge. Only thing which they've been able to do is that they have been able to forestall any of our adventurism from their side toward the highway. Point one. Point two,
Which highway?
what they,
Which highway? Which highway?
the Chinese highway G219, whatever that thing is. Yeah,
G219.
yeah. Right? To safeguard that, they have come up with a lateral in depth, which is same. And they have done this with an adventure in Galwan, they have done the segmentation. By their movement forward in Galwan, and what is presently happening is that they are controlling the confluence point by observation and if required by fire.
You
And
mean
denying it was.
the Shayok Galwan confluence point?
That's right, that's right.
But sir, there is no line of sight from PP14 to the confluence. There's no line.
No. I'm now away from the PPs now. I'm getting into what they have achieved. Right? By getting that 1959 claim line, with that what happens is the hills that side, the line runs on them. You understand the point? Across the Shayok towards their side.
Sir, but the 59 claim line in Galwan is just ahead of PP14. It is, you see, that's where the clash took place. That was the 59 claim line.
No, the claim line was definitely up ahead. The claim line has been basically based on the Karakoram line. The old Karakoram line, which started off the initial thing right during Darbar times. JNK Darbar times, there was something called the Karakoram line. Then came that McCartney and something like Kennedy McCartney, Johnson line, Kunlun line. We just went berserk thereafter. You see, there was nobody to keep a check on the Maharaja and no great person to advise him. So he just kept pushing his line up forward. But since they were just lines, nobody gave a damn. Right?
One point, if I can give an interjection here. You see, Sandeep, you and Brigadier Dhillon, you're highlighting a very important aspect, but we should remain very cautious of the fact that DBO, Karakoram Pass, DBO, Dipsang Plain, put together, it forms, all these three, they form a very, very prominent wedge between China and Pakistan. When I say wedge, because beyond Karakoram, you are aware, since going by your military history, interest and passion, there is a distance of 75 kilometers. That 75 kilometers to Indira Call is unguarded as of now, unguarded. It cannot be scaled. Brigadier Dhillon might have gone there, but I have not been. So what I'm saying is, to go to Shaksgam Valley, the nearest, the shortest and the easiest route is from Karakoram Pass. You roll down to India side towards DPO, skirt around, and there is a glacier called a Rim Glacier. Between the Rim Glacier
Rimo Glacier. So there are three of them, north, south and central.
Correct. The shortest distance where the road can be built, people who have actually foot-slogged and gone, they say 7 kilometers. I don't buy that game. It will be minimum 18 to 25 kilometers, which is much shorter through the G219 and many infrastructure road networks which have been built by China between 1986 to 2011. Why am I highlighting this point is, one of the primary aims of China, unstated aim, is to somehow or the other deny the effectiveness of DSDBO, because DSDBO, don't look at it like a road. It is a big threat, and don't look at DSDBO in isolation. DSDBO has to be seen which direction it is pointing to. Along with that, you have to see there is a road which has come up from Partapur to Chalunka and beyond. That road is pointing towards Skardu. 90 kilometers crow flight distance from the road head at Chalunka is Skardu. And
80 area. That's 8 dev area.
It is a
No, no, it's called subsector West, right? And now,
subsector.
now called Hanif or something and all, they call it.
So when you see these two roads, one is coming close to the Karakoram Pass and it is threatening something as if something can go in with the least of effort to Xinjiang province. And mind you, our viewers also need to understand that in the eastern Ladakh, the whole area of Tibet and Xinjiang is divided by an imaginary line cutting across Pengso Lake and going in the northeasterly direction. ये जो बोलते हैं ना finger 4, finger 8. So if you join that imaginary, there is the 4, 7, 2, 8. There is a height towards our side. If you join this line, it divides to the east is Tibet, to the west is Xinjiang, which is to be called East Turkmenistan. So China is scared that this road has got the potential, firstly, with minimum effort, to interdict G219, which is at a distance of 18 kilometers to 125 kilometers between DSDBO and the G219.
Number now they are making a new one, G216.
No,
it's closer.
No, the new one is G695. G695, which is likely to be completed by 2030. They are actually going very fast. They may finish it by 2028. It is getting closer to the areas of dispute. The areas of dispute, one of them happens to be at PP5. Then we have disallowed them to put a bridge there. If they make a bridge there, they will go take the shortest route, touch Karakoram Pass, go to Shashkam Valley. Second place is the Loop Road. Loop Road is between the PP9 and PP10. This road is coming right up to the DSDBO. Third one is the Depsang Plain. Depsang Plain, they are very, very apprehensive because if we go up to PP10, 11, 11 Alpha, 12 and 13, this takes us very, very close to Western Highway, which is at a distance of 13 kilometers to 25 kilometers. So this is a distance which will scare any enemy. Earlier, we did not have a metal road. Now we have a metal road. Earlier, we used to take minimum, if not more, 6 to 8 days to reach up to DBO. Now, if you sit in a light vehicle in the morning, by evening 6 o'clock, you are there at DBO. Starting from Durpuk, I'm talking of. This is the time frame. So as against 6 days, now you are taking 12 hours. Which enemy worth its name will not be actually scared and apprehensive of kind of offensive content? So this is one point. Second point I wanted to make was, the point is, there are two places. One is the Demchok and second is the Indus Valley. So, second is the bridge where they are making across the Pengongso towards north and the finger 4 to finger 8. At finger 8, you have Sirijap.
So the bridge which they are making is behind Sirijap actually.
Yeah, Sirijap. Correct.
So it is aligned with Khurnak Fort. It's aligned with Khurnak Fort.
Khurnak Fort, which at a distance of some say 12, some say 18, it is roughly around 10 to 15 kilometers crow fly distance, and it is going to reduce the mobilization of troops, PLA troops. They have two different divisions. When I was the GOC, I used to meet two GOCs opposite me. Okay, so both of them, they used to come and meet me at finger 4 or finger 8, because I as a GOC, I have walked the entire stretch from finger 4 to finger 8. Despite all warnings given by the Chinese, I said, "Mere ko maar do, main jaunga." I am GOC, I need to see this point. I went and saw the Sirijap and came back walking. Okay, so although
did you go up to Sirijap, sir? Did you step into Sirijap?
I didn't go. Sirijap is little away from finger. It is not exactly at finger 8. It is little away from. Okay, so they have built up a huge communication center. Sirijap is not a chota mota koi platoon or section level. It could be anything up to a battalion, maybe plus. So they have got lots of boats there, speed boats. They have got a lot of communication center. Communication towers have come up. There is a helipad which has been developed into short ALG. Those kind of things are coming up.
And just to add to what you said about Kargil's entire nonsense having started in Kargil time, that was the time when they built a proper road, from Sirijap to finger 4. Because at that time we had taken our wise off.
Yeah, this road was non-existent prior to that. That is why I'm saying the timeline should be prior to the Kargil war. But that also, this is a good opening. Actually, it is like in a very close bout of boxing. You wait for the opponent, which opponent is blinking. Now China has actually blinked its eyes. This should be taken advantage of by. We should compliment our Minister of External Affairs and the military authorities. They've done a great job. You have made China to blink its eye. Use this to keep pushing the timeline. Do not rest in laurels with pre-April 2020, because the moment you use this timeline today, tomorrow China is it's a must. The country cannot be trusted. They will say, "Acha, that means the Aksai chain has come to us." This is the line of thought of China. So slowly we should take it to the pre-operation.
How, sir? How? Instead of that, we have brought it closer. Instead of pushing it, we have brought it closer.
So by saying 2020, what I mean to say is that you have accepted the deployment post 1962. You have accepted the deployment and the infrastructure development which have taken place close to the perceived LAC. You have accepted their incursion, their intrusion across our perceived LAC into our area.
See, it's no more an intrusion. It's now official. It's no more an incursion. Now it is an official patrol now.
That is what the danger is. Is India prepared to accept this kind of incursions and intrusion today, which is going to deny our very connectivity with the DBO? If the answer is yes, I have nothing to say. If India is prepared to undo the breast wall which was constructed under so much of severe extreme temperature and inclement weather and so much of hardship, there is no stone available. It is built like a sangad. छोटे-छोटे पत्थर को नीचे से उठा के ऊपर लेके.
Let me address the elephant in the room and let's talk a doomsday scenario. Like Brigadier Dhillon said, and others have been saying, let's be pragmatic, not emotional. If 59 CL, they are de facto there and it's gone. And if Prime Minister Modi can work out IB along 59 CL, nothing much we can do about it. We cannot hope for much better because that's it. Now, I am saying, suppose, I am not saying I am subscribed to that. I am saying let's go with that. I feel that China, if they have won the prestige battle as well as the tactical battle, and they can regularize 59 CL, because then they can forever secure G219, their highway, and that new highway they are building, that's forever secure, because tactically India can never go beyond, and that's a lousy terrain for fighting beyond that, where India will be pushed to. But China also from there will find it very difficult to make further inroads. If India finds it difficult, China will also find it difficult to push from there, because behind that very rough terrain starts, rough heights start. But for a moment, let's put Ladakh on the back burner. Let's come to Nepal. Let's come to Arunachal, where you have something to save. Where you have something to save, right? In Ladakh, there are no iconic features there. Tawang is an iconic feature which you have protected with liters of sweat. Now, Tawang is in no way a pushover. India is very well defended there, as you know. I'll just bring this piece of information to Indian viewers because they need to know this. After 62, when China went back, India tentatively went ahead and started patrolling the old Namkachu line, etc. But very tentatively. India, after the defeat over there, was very tentative. In 1980, when Srimati Indira Gandhi won again and came to power, in 81 there was a meeting of the Cabinet Committee of Security, CCS meeting, and a principal decision was taken that Tawang has to be taken very seriously, and if Tawang has to be protected, we should resume forward posture. Viewers, please note this phrase, because this forward policy, etc., has been discussed till, discussed in every way, positively, negatively in 62. In 81, it was decided we will resume forward posture ahead of Tawang and restore status quo ante before the defeat of whatever existed before 20th October 1962. Accordingly, from 1983, our IB started opening up summer posts beyond where we were before, up to Sumdorongchu Valley. That's where the Sumdorongchu incident happened in 86. And Brigadier Sudhakar Jee may not be in a position to agree on camera, we also went back to old Khinjamane post, not the new one at Brokung Samba. We stressed up to Sangle and we were back royally wherever we were before 62 defeat. After then the Chinese started panicking and then they started reversing all that in 86, and General Sudhakar Jee the Great, one of the greatest generals India's greatest strategists India has ever seen, he gave them a drubbing on the mouth. We have done a program here in the past on this channel where we had the then OC of the mountain battery, which was posted there to support 12 Assam during the Sumdarunchu crisis. Colonel Pradeep Saxena was here, and when our 5D went ahead, we give them a drubbing, and I had quoted Chinese sources that for the first time after 62 war, we opened up with MMGs and we mowed down their attempts to outflank the long roller defenses. Their 2IC was killed. Now, these things were never quoted by India because obviously the India had to play it down. For China, it was a defeat. They tried to outflank. General Sudhakar Jee will know what I am referring to. On the Kiapo range, there is a Longrola pass. To the west of the Das Post, west of the Das Post, there is Longrola Post. They try to rush that. There is a ridge between that, the Kiapo range and the Das Post. There is a ridge in between. They tried to gorge. They tried to outflank that. They tried to push a battalion, and they were mowed down as the MMG opened up. So from then on, and they thought they started making those 862 like postures, and Deng Xiaoping started rumbling that we will teach you a lesson again. But that was Sundarji's time, so nothing doing. India held its ground. India almost let go with artillery, but there was huge snowfall. Colonel Pradeep Saxena has gone on record here saying that they're almost about to let go with artillery, but then there was there was extreme snowfall there, and the units did not go ahead. But China got its lesson, etc. But today, coming back to, I can see the distress on General Sudhakar Jee's face. I know where all he has personally patrolled on all fours. We are not going to quote all that. If China is officially allowed to patrol up to Yangtze, sir, then is Tawang itself at risk? But mind you, that is an iconic target for China worth going for. In Ladakh, there are no more iconic targets for them. No iconic targets. It's just stone and, barren land. Tawang is a politically, strategically iconic target. Are we putting that at risk, sir?
Absolutely. Sandeep, very well analyzed. I must compliment you. There are not many historians like you who know things far better than the army people. Let me compliment you. We are bound by official secret act and also service norms after retirement. Certain things one is not expected to disclose in camera. You've said it yourself. The fact of the matter is, if you allow the patrols to come behind or go as per the weather call in 1959 or any line, or pre-April 2020, what does it mean? I don't know. What is the benchmark the decision makers or people who are deliberating on all these issues? What is the timeline and the geography which is being accepted as a benchmark when they say pre-April 2020? I'm sure they would have factored in all these issues, which should not take India back or compromise our national security.
Sir, they have categorically said that China will be allowed to come to Yangtze.
Yeah, that's what I also read in the open media. I have no means of accessing into because that's a very dangerous thing. The moment you say Yangtze is no longer what is there in 1975 or not in 2011. In past 4 years, because the present government has doubled down in its effort and resources, there are so many roads I can't disclose in camera. The guns which were there miles away, the guns have got closer to the border. We have houses there. Their connectivity is improved. So that means allowing the patrols to come behind our troops who are deployed ahead. I hope I'm being able to explain. Our troops are ahead towards China side. Their patrols are being allowed to come behind our troops. Is that a healthy development to take place?
Incredible. Can't believe it.
It happened during my time, once and twice. Therefore, the breast wall has come up. When it was found out that they've gone through the breast wall, ज़्यादा लंबा नहीं है. ये 100-150 मीटर का है breast wall. It is 2 ridges. आप जो वो कह रहे थे ना Kyapo Das and you're talking about Lungrula, it is a horseshoe deployment. It is a horseshoe deployment which overlooks Wangdong. Wangdong is on the own side of the hill feature on top of which we are sitting. There is no way. There are two spurs you are indicating, southwest spur and southeast spur. जब इसके ऊपर आया, there is an officer of Gorkha regiment, if I remember, 3-5. Captain Rawat is to be respected. He is the man who held the machine gun. He opened up, and Chinese were given a bit nice drubbing, and they went back. I'll not comment on the death of the two ICs. That is,
I am quoting the Chinese publications on this. We have not accepted.
They know, Sandeep, you are an authority. I would like to make any comment. There is a line which is drawn for all of us. So some issues are in public domain, some issues are not. But suffice to say, Chinese were pushed back. Therefore, there is a zero line. There is a wire even today between Wangdong and us. People sitting at Lungrola and Das, and this thing to dominate these two particular spurs coming up. As a brigade commander, I used to anticipate कि ये Friday है, वो southwest पर से आएगा. I used to tell my BM and G1 सुबह 4 बजे कि भाई सबको बता दो, वो वहाँ से आ रहे हैं. One day he came up and asked me, sir, do you have a hotline with the Chinese? I said no. How do you predict so accurately? Which service and experience you get to know. There is a pattern which enemy follow. So coming back to the breastwall that I was talking of, why am I highlighting is, you see, by and by, China has developed its access, its network of roads and tracks. Their mobilization is faster than our case. Our gradient is very steep. We have to climb up. Although roads and tracks have come up, our deployment areas have been improved. But mind you, to go from the nearest railhead, the distance is almost about 550 kilometers. 550 kilometers to kilometer 40. From there, it is a foot slugging for almost about 2 days. Then you have to acclimatize at a particular place. Then you have to go to Yangtze. Yangtze is above 14,000 feet, 15,000 feet. You know, without acclimatization, if you are pushing the troops ahead, what is the case in case of China? China is again on a table, comparatively on a level field. Their mobilization is faster. They are able to, if the patrols come, they will come behind us. Suddenly there will be a change of mind. Somebody like Xi, in a greater form of Jinping, he changes his mind, ki bhai, sort out the Indians from behind. Will you be in a position? You will get cut off.
Is Tawang in danger, sir? That is
Obviously.
What.
Sir, the access to Tawang is connected by the present road, which is being developed into national highway specification, which is running from Tezpur, goes up to what is that? Bomdila, Bomdila के बाद सेला, बीच में संगे संगे आता है, सेला के बाद then it goes.
It dips to Dirang, from Dirang to Sengke.
Dirang के बाद. Thereafter there is a bridge 4. If you read the 1962 history, I am not talking about the bridge 4 of Kinjibane and that place.
This is Jung Bridge. Jung Bridge.
Jung Bridge. आप Yangtze जब कहते हैं, to roll down from Yangtze to Jung Bridge, it takes between 8 to 9 hours just to roll down. So that means if the Jung Bridge is under the Chinese or the PLA, I know it is hypothetical, it's not that easy. We'll have suitable countermeasure also. That means you are cutting off Tawang. Tawang's connectivity, even if there is an alternate axis which is coming up, it is connecting with this particular axis which is vulnerable to be disconnected or choked off or cut off by enemy forces if we leave it for free, the way it is being explained in the open media. So therefore,
my other concern is from Yangtze. If they get on top of Yangtze, can they command all tracks from Tulungla to Poshingla?
Tulungla to Poshingla.
In the south?
No, they can't. They can't. They can't, because I'll tell you why. See, first of all, people must know. Go back in history, Yangtze was never part of India. I didn't want to make this statement. It is a quid pro quo to the Samdang-Rungchu incident. Earlier, we used to have Assam Rifle Post, and from Assam Rifle, my own regiment battalion, 8 Mahar came occupied, and there was a face-off, extended standoff in this area. Since then, we said, if you don't vacate Samdang-Rungchu, we'll also not vacate. Why should we? If China is disrespectful, not respecting our sovereignty and territorial integrity, if they're playing a game of cat and mouse, why should India put its back foot and keep moving behind?
So when you say they didn't vacate Sumdarungchu, you mean the Sumdarungchu bank? Because we are till Wangdung almost. We are commanding Wangdung, right? We are commanding Wangdung.
Yeah, Wangdung is on the, what do you call, this is the forward slope of the same feature. It's a same hill feature. On top of it, we are sitting. And we can't see it. You looks like you've been there. You know it. You can see Wangdong from Das post. You are to some extent कैफो के बाय वाला रिच आपको नजर आता है, ठीक है ना. और लुंगरोला जहां पे बैठे हो जाके सीधा उठते हो तो वहां से कुछ दिखता नहीं है. इट गेट्स हिडन बिहाइंड इनसाइड द फीचर.
सो थांड्रुंग पास्चर है, थांड्रुंग पास्चर है.
करेक्ट करेक्ट. So basically what I am saying is this game of quid pro quo, lack of trust, suspicion, until they finish, you cannot have any kind of a genuine thaw with a country like China.
Sir, let us come up with Brigadier Dhillon, sir, on a different note if he wants to. Are you hopeful, sir, Dhillon, sir, that with this, at long last, there can be peace, at least in Ladakh?
I'll put it like this. You have to understand firstly, why is there emphasis on Tuan side, right? They want to do for the next Dalai Lama what they did for the Panchen Lama. What understood? They don't want the Tuan monastery to supply the next Dalai Lama. They want their own Dalai Lama in. So they're looking at that much ahead. That's the reason why they probably insisted on coming up to there. And that's why the general is very rightly, very apprehensive about it. You understand the point? Now put that aside. As far as Ladakh is concerned, Ladakh, the movement of patrols and all for these, in the Dapsang area, those patrolling points, actually got no meaning. It's cosmetic, it's a bit of a smoke screen. Because of the simple fact that we are definitely stronger out there and they have been reactive. They have reacted in segmenting the battlefield by coming into Galna, right? And therefore reduce their own sort of threat, right? So for defensive purposes, we are very strong out there. There is no way that the Chinese will need any movement along this for getting into the Shaksgam Valley. They've got a very good road coming up the Shaksgam Valley. They are just below the Turkmenistan now, the village which is there. They have reached the road till there, right? And we are dominating the ridgeline of Turkmenistan now, so they can't come our side and we can't go there. As simple as that. So this closing of the loop, see what happened was with that 9842, the point being out there, it was left dangling. Then the line was, up to interpretation. Then northward to the glaciers. We said no, northwestwards, right? Then they are saying that on the left shoulder of the Karakoram Pass, to that even the Chinese were agreeing. For quite some time that carried on. But now what has happened is that the loop gets closed, but on a more equitable bulge to us. But Shaksgam is definitely out. Anyone who feels that we will be able to take Shaksgam back, sorry, I think we are talking about something totally out of the blue, right? Right? Anyone who feels that they feel threatened, no. Neither are they threatened. They got enough to defend. We got enough to defend. Now with this, what happened, we had built up an offensive quotient in our favor. Now that has got been diluted, courtesy this agreement. Thinning out has already started. I don't know what is 3 on their side. Our side, thinning out has definitely come. I've seen them on the road going back, right? So that's the situation. So people will say, okay. But the dangerous part is what the general is talking about.
So if we accept, so gentlemen, What General Sudhakar Jee and Brigadier Dhillon, if we accept that whatever has happened in Ladakh, emotionally, irrespective of how we feel, that is pragmatically the sustainable line. And if we are willing to bite the bullet and say, Bhai, can't help it, I mean, that's it. We have seen for 6-7 decades, that's it. Nothing better is going to happen, nothing worse can happen if we accept. Then the entire, can we sum up and saying that the focus in the coming months or years is going to be Arunachal?
Yes.
The game will be on in Arunachal. That's where we are thinking
That's right.
gain and lose. Ladakh is a closed chapter, for better or for worse. Can we agree and close on that, sir?
I agree with you.
Will you allow me two quick points?
Sir.
To disregard geopolitics related to the subject would leave us our discussion incomplete. There is a bigger thing which is happening, and to my assessment, yes, it is good to be to have both the pro and the against arguments. We have actually thrown up a lot of issues, but there is a bigger game. There is a realization in China that if China is looking towards rejuvenating the Middle Kingdom by 2049 or earlier than that, they cannot do it without India. One. Number two, in 21st century, the state of USA as a superpower, to stay relevant, has to focus on the Indian Ocean region or South Asia. Number three, the economy being what it is today, China is realizing that it's losing out a lot, particularly the consumer base which India provides. India, as on today, has got 500 million consumer base, people who spend more than $12 a day. That's a huge number. So likewise, the supply chain disruptions and China plus all these things put together, China has started feeling the pressure. And it feels that it may be wise on part of China to take India along and focus on the Indo-Pacific, especially on Taiwan, if it is serious about reunification of Taiwan with the mainland China. That is all from my side. Back to you, please.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have had a very long evening. I'm sure a lot of things have got said here which are stunning, which don't usually get said on other channels. And I think I take the blame for provoking you, gentlemen, but I think that the viewers deserve to know it the way it is, and they also deserve to know the implications. Otherwise, these are just so many words and names of places which many viewers can't relate to. I think we have been able to point out for better or for worse, all the highlights of the agreement, de-escalation, disengagement, whatever you say, and what could be the possible plus side in Ladakh and the possible dangers in Arunachal. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been excellent meeting you. Let's look at the developments as they unfold, and then perhaps we will meet again. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Sandeep. Nice talking to you.
Very Sandeep. Total. You have reached a global standard here. I'm telling you. How do you remember the names of the places? I've been there. I'm holding myself back.